spirit for the Lord, I can't turn down. Talking too much, bruh, it's time for you to learn now.
So what they hearing, get offended, get now.
Sunday, that's the first day of the week. The Bible says 6 days shalt thou labor. So from the first day to the 6th day of the week, we're doing all of our labor. We're working. If we got a job, we got our own business, we go to school, we got to work, whatever we got to do it within those 6 days. Okay, that's what God is saying. Read that. But the 7th day?
But the 7th day is the Sabbath of the Lord thy God.
So the last day of the week, which is what? Saturday. And how the Bible works, right, how God teaches it, it's the night starts the day. So Friday sundown to Saturday sundown, that's actually Saturday, right? So that day we have to keep the Sabbath day holy. What does it mean to keep it holy?
I'm not really sure.
Okay, good. We're going to show you, Oscar. Read.
In it thou shalt not do any work, thou, nor thy son, nor thy daughter, thy manservant, nor thy maidservant, nor thy cattle, nor thy stranger that is within thy gate.
So guess what? The first 6 days we're supposed to do what? Do all of our what?
Bring it out.
Do all of our work. Do you have to work on Saturdays? Yeah, you do? Okay, so now you're learning that God said we got to keep the Sabbath. So what you do? You go to your boss and say, hey, listen, I have to keep the commandments of God. I can't work on a Saturday, right? Now, we all were in that situation at one point, our job, when we first understood. And some of our bosses said, yeah, okay, no problem, switch your days. But then some say you can't. So what you do, we're not telling you to quit right away if they don't let you, but try to find another job so you can keep God's laws and commandments. Because it's very important. I'm going to get to it, right? Why we got to keep the Sabbath. But we're not supposed to be doing work on that day. If you had your own business, right? If you had your own family members working with you, or you had other people working for you, or if you are a farmer and you had animals, nobody's supposed to be working on that day. Right? Now give me Exodus 35, Nehemiah 10 and 31. Are we supposed to, can we buy and sell on the Sabbath day? No, we can't. It's kind of a trick question. I'll kind of give it to you. But we're not allowed to buy and sell either on that day. But guess what? We're on what day of the week have the most sales and the most things, the stores got the best sales, and what day of the week is that on?
Not really sure.
It's typically on Saturdays. Typically, people have the weekends off. They just got paid on Friday, and Saturday they have all these deals so you could go buy and sell. Because guess what? This system was made for the black and Hispanic man to continue to break God's laws and commandments. Once we start keeping God's laws and commandments, including the Sabbath day, we'll be back on top as the Israelites, like God promised us from the beginning. It's not normal for you to be at the bottom. It's not normal for your people, the blacks and Hispanics, to be getting shot down in the streets, to be filled up in these gangs, to be filled up in these prisons, to be on drug abuse, alcoholism, right? Prostitutions, abortions. That stuff is not normal. You go to other communities, you go to the white communities, the Chinese, you see them have gang banging, you see them killing each other in the streets, you see the police racially profiling them. So why is it happening to us? That's because we're not keeping God's commandments. God gave us the commandments, and I'm going to get to it, but let me finish the Sabbath day, and we're going to continue going. And if you have any questions, just stop me, right? Read.
This is the book of Nehemiah, chapter 10, verse 31. And if the people of the land bring ware of any victuals on the Sabbath day to sell.
So ware of any victuals, meaning their merchandise. So we were in our own land in Jerusalem. Other nations would come to our land, and they would try to sell and trade with us. But it's saying if they do that on the Sabbath day,
that we would not buy it of them on the Sabbath, or on the holy day, and that we would leave the 7th year.
So that's good. So guess what? Our forefathers, God taught us not to buy and sell on the Sabbath day. So there's no buying or selling on the Sabbath day. There's no working on the Sabbath day. One more, Exodus 16:23. Actually, two more. Exodus 16:23. Two more things, right? Read.
This is the book of Exodus, chapter 16, verse 23. And he said unto them, this is that which the Lord has said. Tomorrow is the rest of the holy Sabbath unto the Lord. Bake that which ye will bake today, and seethe that ye will seethe, and that which remaineth over lay up for you to be kept until the morning.
So this is Moses. He's speaking to the children of Israel. This is a Friday because he's saying tomorrow's a Sabbath, which would be Saturday. He's saying if y'all want something to cook, if y'all want cooked food or anything like that, cook it, bake it, do it on Friday. Because on the Sabbath, there's no cooking. There's no baking. So if some people like cold pizza or whatever, if you like cold pizza, right? You eat cold pizza. So you could get pizza on Friday, and if you want to lay it up for the next day, you can eat cold pizza. If you like, spaghetti, or if you want like a chicken salad, cook the chicken on Friday, and then you got the chicken salad the next day, right? But these are things we can't be doing to break the Sabbath day. Last one, Leviticus 23 and 2. What else are we supposed to be doing on Sabbath? Because on Sunday, the people come to the churches, right? They're gathering together. That's also a commandment. But guess what? They're doing it on the wrong day.
Right.
Let me clarify. You could come to the church. We have a school, right, where we congregate. You could come any day of the week. But the day we actually keep the Sabbath day holy is Sabbath, Saturday. They're trying to do it on Sunday, which is not biblical.
Right.
Right? Read.
This is the book of Leviticus, chapter 23, verse 2. Speak unto the children of Israel.
Now notice, every time it keeps saying the children of Israel, because the Bible's only for the children of Israel. It's not for everybody. That's another lie we got taught to in the time of slavery. Right? Read.
And say unto them concerning the feast of the Lord, which ye shall proclaim to be a holy convocation. Even these are my feasts. 6 days shall work be done. But the 7th day is the Sabbath of rest and holy convocation.
So Exodus 31:14. So it's a holy convocation. A convocation means a large gathering. So us as a nation of Israel, we should be coming together on the Sabbath day, and we should be fellowshipping with one another. That's our day of rest. We should be coming together. Sunday is not the day of rest. You could come together on Sunday. We're not saying you can't come together on Sunday. But no buying and selling, no cooking, make sure we're congregating, all right, no working. That has to be fulfilled on the Sabbath day. Now, let me ask you something. If we don't follow that, you think God is okay with it? No, okay. Here's the judgment. And again, the reason why we're out here, we're trying to speak with the pastor right here of this church and warn him and let him know that we got to be keeping the Sabbath day. Because there's a judgment when we don't keep God's laws and commandments. That's what you see right here. This is judgment. Slavery, the Spanish conquest, it was judgment on our people for not following these simple commandments. Read.
This is the book of Exodus, chapter 31, verse 14. Ye shall keep the Sabbath, therefore, for it is holy unto you. Everyone that defileth it.
Everyone that's not keeping the Sabbath day holy, Oscar, everyone that's not keeping the Sabbath day holy on the correct day and doing the right things, right, read,
shall surely be put to death.
What's going to happen if you break the Sabbath?
Shall surely be put to death.
So guess what? God, when Christ returns, because he is coming back, he's not coming back with hugs and kisses and lollipops, right, and giving you a kiss on your forehead. Christ is coming back with a sword, and Christ is coming back with fire. And for all those who are not keeping the commandments, including the Sabbath day, you're going to get put to death. Where Christ gave us time. He gave us grace and mercy, brother. My brother, Christ gave us time to get our lives right. To start keeping God's laws and commandments as the Israelites. But that grace, you pay bills?
Somewhat.
Okay, you pay a phone bill? What type of bills do you pay? A phone bill. If you're late paying your bill, what type of notice do they give you some type of time, like you have X amount of days to give this money? So it's like a grace period, correct? That's the same way with Christ. When Christ came, people thought, Romans 6, 1 and 2, when Christ came, people thought Christ did away with the laws. We can do whatever we want now. Yay! He got nailed to the cross. Yay! We can do whatever we want. I could be a homosexual. I could sell drugs. I could kill people. No, that's not what the Bible says. Grace is just a time period to get our lives together.
Right.
To get it together. We still have to keep the commandment. Because before, there were certain laws. Like before Christ came, if you killed someone, what's the judgment for you? You got put to death. You got stoned to death. So there was no repenting. There was no time for you to, dang, I'm sorry. Let me not do that again.
I was just saying, watch it back.
Now, when Christ came back,
Samuel, go with him.
he's basically giving us time. Because some of us were murderers. Some of us broke the Sabbath. The Sabbath is worthy of death. Some of us were worshiping other gods like this white image of Christ. That's not biblical. We were doing those things. That's worthy of death. But since Christ came, he's given us a chance to get it right. But when he comes back, if you didn't get it right, you're going to get put to death. Read that, Romans 6, 1 and 2.
This is the book of Romans, chapter 6 and verse 1. What shall we say then? Shall we continue in sin?
Do you know what sin is?
I think somewhat.
1 John 3 and 4. Do you know what sin is? According to the Bible.
Like doing something you're not supposed to, I think. I don't know.
You're on the right path. Right. So the Bible is going to explain everything. We're going to explain everything out the Bible so you have the true understanding. So you can't say, oh, that's what he said. We're reading what the Bible says. Read.
This is the book of 1 John chapter 3 verse 4. Whosoever committeth sin transgresseth also the law. For sin is the transgression of the law.
Go back to Romans. So sin is breaking God's laws. The Sabbath day is one of God's laws. Okay? Not eating shrimp, crab, pork, and lobster. Those are God's laws that we aren't supposed to be broken. But when Christ came back, people thought, oh, I can sin now, and it's okay because we're under grace. Read what Paul said again.
It's the book of Romans chapter 6 and verse 1. What shall we say then? Shall we continue in sin that grace may abound? God forbid.
So this is what we're trying to teach our people who are going to these churches. We cannot stay in the midst of sin and think God is going to be okay with it. He is going to put you to death.
What is a nation? Nation is family. Nation is community. Nation is men leading by example. Nation is women's support. Nation is children with role models. Nation is unity. Nation is you. It's nation time.
And finally, my brethren, be strong